Again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Let's have a little chit chat about PEDs, because before the Day of Reckoning card on the 23rd of December, I made several videos, and I expressed my contempt for Jarrell Miller, who I dislike immensely, for obvious reasons, for reasons which should be evident to anyone. This guy failed numerous PED tests. He was taking a cocktail of drugs. A lot of them were IV. You'd have to inject them. They couldn't take them orally or, drink them or whatever. But yeah, I didn't like the guy. I don't like the guy. And a lot of people were saying to me, well, why are you picking on Miller? I mean, I had one fucking idiot in the comments who kept on and on and on about this subject. And he kept saying, well, what about Roy Jones? And what about James Toney? And what about Holyfield, the way he looked? This bloke he got on my tits, so I kicked him off the channel. Because I answered initially, like the first few posts, but then he just went on and on like he was fixated on that Jarrell Miller was being picked on or something. Look, for the record, here is my opinion on PEDs or cheats, PED cheats, if you like. For what it's worth, you can take it or leave it, agree or disagree. First of all, I don't believe in zero tolerance. The only thing I have zero tolerance for is zero tolerance. So I'm not one of these people that says the moment you get nicked for anything, it should be a lifetime ban. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's practical. I don't think it's doable. You get too many people being sued for, I don't know, they'd probably find an angle. Where there's money, there's a lawsuit. And I don't think it is fair to just say someone drank something that was, an over-the-counter thing accidentally, or they perhaps took an aspirin or whatever the hell it is, and then they've got a lifetime ban. That seems a grotesque perversion of what should be justice. Now, if you keep doing that, if you keep failing tests like Jarrell Miller or Dillian White, perhaps is another example, then yeah, a first offence, 2-year ban, 3-year ban, second offence, 5-6-year ban, 7-year ban, and then third time you get nicked out. That's the way it should be done for me personally. That's just my view. But let's be honest here, there are different ways of failing tests. You can, like I say, take an over-the-counter supplement or whatever, and you weren't aware of it, or you can do what Miller was doing, which is an absolute plethora of drugs, sticking needles in your bum and, doing the whole PED cycle and everything. And yes, I know there are lots of people who are doing it and are not getting nicked. I'm aware of that. But there is no ultimate victory in the war against PEDs, and there's no ultimate defeat either. What you don't do is you throw the towel in and make it all legal, because then I'm out of the sport. Then it won't be the sport that I have loved all my life, and they won't be the contestants that I've admired all my life either. And yeah, some of the people that I think are the greatest fighters I've ever seen, Jones and Toney being two obvious examples, have in the past failed drugs tests once. Not to say that's only the only occasion they were doing it. And there are other people, one Marquez, Holyfield, Pacquiao, who I have very strong suspicions of. I think they were probably juicing. Canelo's another one who failed a drugs test. But someone like Miller is so off the chart, is so far, down the rabbit hole of PED use and cycles and all the rest of it, that I find it impossible. Not because he got nicked once, but because he got nicked definitely twice in boxing. And I believe, was he a kickboxer and he got nicked as well? I mean, this guy has all the traits of an addict, of someone who's got to have those performance-enhancing drugs. And now he's been beaten up and stopped by Daniel Dubois. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does carry on boxing, if he tries his luck again, sees if he can get away with it. But one of the reasons I believe in being a little bit more lenient on the people who are, even someone like Conor Benn. I mean, I don't know the details of Conor Benn. I do know that he's never proved his innocence, but it is feasible that, he was taking something and didn't realise he took it. The problem with Conor Benn is he actually denied taking it. He denied it was even in his system. He was talking about contamination, all sorts of stuff. But there are people who've been nicked, who've popped hot. And they just weren't. They are genuinely innocent people. Like, I don't know what I don't know how it got there. I admit it's there, but I don't know what it's doing there. Or they've taken something that they didn't realise was not allowed. And there is some wiggle room here for people who make these claims, because if you look at the different lists of banned substances from VADA and the other VADA's the big one, but you have the other testing agencies. The lists differ. So if the lists differ, and let's be honest, boxers are not chemists. That's why you hire a strength and conditioning, dietitian, strength and conditioning coach, all this stuff. They're the ones that should be really looking at what is legal and not legal, if they're earning their money properly. But a lot of them don't do it. And when the fighter gets popped and is genuinely doesn't know why, doesn't understand why, he's the one who carries the can. The people who should have been looking out for him don't. And this is what I said about Ben. Everyone talked about Ben, and I've been highly critical of Conor Benn, highly critical over the last year and a bit. But why is no one talking about the people around him? Because it's down to them as well. It's their responsibility. What's he paying them for otherwise? Unless, of course, they knew what they were doing and they were doing it deliberately, but I don't know that. All I know is he twice failed a drugs test. So until you have consistency, if it would be a far more easier thing to police if everybody, all the drug agencies across, this is real, magic wand stuff. This is sky blue thinking. But if all the countries and all the ruling bodies and all the testing agencies got together and said, this is what's allowed and this is what isn't, then you could police it far better. But of course, it isn't like that. It isn't like that. But there, again, I repeat, at the risk of sounding repetitive, there are different degrees of failing. Hence the reason I'm not someone who says if someone fails once, they're out for life. You have to take each. They should all be punished. Don't get me wrong, they should all be punished. And even if you didn't know that you were taking something illicit, yeah, tough luck, mate. Because someone's not looking out for you, or you're not paying attention, because ultimately we all have body sovereignty and we have to be careful what is being put into our system. That's why your manager is meant to get the right people around you who are going to help you out, because obviously you're not a chemist. You probably don't know much about pharmaceuticals, And then you've got the issue of something that is illegal, and then the people that make it will change the compound slightly to make it legal, because the chemistry is slightly different, but it has the same effect. So all these things have to be considered. And so why did I pick on Miller? Because he failed multiple times, and he failed not for one drug, but for an absolute cocktail of them. Why am I more lenient on someone who's nicked once for one illegal substance, which is potentially they didn't realise they were taking it? Obviously, I'm going to be more lenient on them, obviously. But what are your thoughts on this subject? Leave your comments below, please do. And, whatever, you don't have to agree with me, of course, so long as you're respectful and you're not a complete tit like this geezer before the day of reckoning card was. No idiots on this channel, please. I accept that there are about 6 or 7 billion people in the world. It stands to reason there's going to be a few hundred fucking idiots. But, if you're not an idiot, you can disagree with me absolutely fine, so long as you do it respectfully, and no problem. But leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button as well. And spread the word, of course, about Joe Stunner Boxing. Looking forward to reading your comments, and bye-bye for now.